Hello, YouTube. Well, how are ya? Sorry, me mucking about. Well, I'm recording this today because let me lean back on the chair. Recording this today because I was out on Monday the 25th. Super hot day in Scotland. Now I just checked the weather forecast back in that day. It was 25.9 degrees, the hottest day in Scotland ever. In May, it's super hot. I mean, it's actually average temperature, but the feels at temperature was way hotter than that. The sun beaming off you. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. Anyway, I decided let's do a stupid adventure on the hottest day of the year. There's a great idea. This thing that was great thing to do, Scott. Anyway, so I went from my home in Dalkeith, it's right next to the Dalkeith Country Park. Cycled from there up to Edinburgh, where I got on the bus at George Street. What's that? Stop GM. Oh, that's a George something. I don't know. Anyway, got on there with a company called Ember, which is this company here. Let me click the main page. Not exactly the most amazing first page, but hey, it's a really good website. It's clean, it's quick, and it does exactly what you need. It's not full of adverts or junk and stuff like that, and I think they should keep it like that. Well, instead of going on to Borders buses, you ever tried using those? Fucking horrible. Anyway, so this company here to do this black and green livery. It's the same buses as you would use for Flex, so you've got FlexiBus, same ones as that. These are electric, no diesel or anything like that. It's not a hybrid motor, it's fully electric. So it's quite impressive. These things get some distance considering they're electric. I mean, they go all the way to Fort William and back. I don't think they change buses either. I don't think they charge it. So it's like all the way to Fort William and back without a charge, which is really quite impressive. I don't know where the batteries are. Maybe they're in the roof and packed in different places because there's a cargo hold. So behind this axle here, all the way to the front axle, there's actually a cargo hold. It reaches probably up to about that Ember sign in terms of height, and it goes from one side of the bus to the other. So all the batteries must really sit over this rear axle section here. So that's quite impressive. It only takes up, let's say, 1/5 of the bus if you're lucky, and it gets all that mileage. And you've got to remember, I mean, these things have, I don't know, let's say 3 seats per window, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. So that's quite impressive. Like, that's 18 seats each side, 36 seats total. It's more than that. It's got to be more than that. 36 seats times by 2, so there you go. 72 seated passengers, and then get that distance. However, at any point, I don't ever see any more than about 40 on the bus. But anyway, really good company. And you just book in here. So say I was going to Edinburgh, you can scroll down alphabetically, which is quite nice. And where's Edinburgh? Where are you? Come on, Edinburgh City Centre. There you go. And I was wanting to go to Stirling, which is where I was before. So scroll down to S. RS Stirling. Where are you? Erskine House. And you can see I want to leave tomorrow. I want to return tomorrow as well. So I'll go there and come back. You can tell it that you want 1 adult, 1 concession, which would be somebody who's got the bus pass for overage or bus pass due to medical conditions. Your children are cheaper probably, which kind of sucks because hey, I'm not getting a conversation to be fair. So under 5, so I expect they're probably free. Wheelchairs or bicycles. Normally I have a bicycle in mine, so I would add adult bike, search, and you can then choose whatever you want. So 8 o'clock in the morning gets you there for 9:30. Then you can return, 10 to 8 night, and it's £11.30 to go from Edinburgh, which I'm going to click that away from that, on this one here, to go from Edinburgh, which is here, to Stirling, which is up here. Edinburgh Dundee based firm, so their headquarters are up in this area here, and this is where they leave from. However, of course, they'd have to leave from Edinburgh and Glasgow because the two main cities. So Edinburgh being here and Glasgow being over there. So there is quite a few services from these two destinations, but the most services come from Dundee. They go up to Aberdeen, Inverness, Thurso, which is quite impressive. It's only one bus at the moment we got to Thurso, so it's got to be a long journey, man. I've been to Thurso, I've cycled back from Thurso. Ullapool, which is cool. I would love to go back up to Ullapool. I've only ever been there once. So I'd love to spend more time in there, but it's the getting up there that can take so long. Then you can get Inverness down to Fort William, or Edinburgh at Fort William, Edinburgh at Oban. And of course, if you go to Fort William, you can get off at 5 stops in Edinburgh, then it goes along to Falkirk, Stirling. There's a few stops on that way, like Dunblane, what the fuck's it called? That one, whatever it's called. And up to Callander, you can go get off Midlicks, Lochern Head, Crean-Larach, Tyndrum, Bridge of Orkney. I sound like a train conductor. Anyway, there's loads of places you can go on and they're really good, and take the bike and stuff like that. So if you're able to go anywhere in Scotland, it's really good for that. So anyway, my journey left from there, left from my house, got to George Street, and then got the bus along to Stirling, Delacoutre, near Stirling. That's an old advert. If you know that one, you know that one. Up to this one here is called Erskine House, and bus comes in, goes down, turns around that roundabout, misses that bus stop out, don't know why, and then goes and stops at this one. And I got off there, and as some of you know, I play a game called Turf, which is this thing here. So Turf is a game where you take GPS coordinates and the other people take them back off you and stuff like that. So for example, the bus stop is, where is it? There. I think it's there. Or it's there. I think it's no, it's definitely there because it's next to the building. Oh, I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, it's in this general vicinity. And this is the GPS coordinate here. Now I took this one back on Monday, which it shows you here. And then since then, Barkin's taken it off me, and Weenie What's It has taken it off me since then, taken off Barkin since then. I took that one, and then went along and took the one next to, this is River House, River something, which is a hotel, beautiful hotel. It's got one of the nicest lobbies or tea rooms that you've ever seen, right in the front here. It's in a circular building. Oh, it's lovely. Big central fire in the middle. Seeing it on a cold day when I done September, when I done Ben Lady. Was it Ben Lady? No, it wasn't. In September when I done Midlicks back, and I stopped here. That's a good question. Yeah, it was. I stopped here for. I don't think I'd done Midlicks back in. Which one was that one then? Oh, no, that's right. It's Midlicks back to here in September. I stopped there for a cup of tea while I was waiting on the bus, and they've got a central fire in the middle, and it's lovely, and the chairs are all around the fire, and they're big comfy chairs, and the cup of tea's really nice to give you a little Biscoff biscuit next to it, and they've got this low but really good quality sound system. They play some nice chilled out music, and I was freezing, I was wet, and I sat down and had this cup of tea, and it was one of the best cups of tea and the most tranquil places I'd been to last year. It's a lovely building. Anyway, that is me going off on a tangent. So back to it. I got this turf on along here, came along, nipped into, there's a Greg's in there, and came along and nipped into pick up this zone here, where I got a medal for 25,000 zones I've taken. It's ridiculous. I've been playing since 2022. That is like an average of, oh, I don't know. Off the top of my head. I'd have to calculate it out, but it's probably about bloody 20 zones a day. Every day. For the last 4 years. Anyway, so picked up that zone, came back off the bridge, didn't go across it because it doesn't really go anywhere. Under the A9 along, picked up the zone here, which is the old road. You see the old road went up there previously. which is nice, beautiful little bridge. I'm sure my dad's told me to drive along that on a motorbike. He likes to tell me these things when we're out driving past stuff. But it's really nice. It's quite grassy now because it's not really well walked or anything like that. It's quite far from any industrial area. However, the industrial area here, this big building here, that's Adobe's. And Adobe's just absolute up the road for me. There's not many in Scotland, just happen to be in the same place with Adobe's. And that's quite nice inside of there. I don't know what any of this is. That looks like kind of farm stuff. And this is an old building. It's actually derelict. I'd love to go and have a wee sketch inside of there, but it's all security cameraed off and stuff like that. Those little police thingy bobs, which are nothing actually to do with police. And I went along, and I went all the way along this way, which I completely regretted. I really should have went down and along here to get to this freaking forest. But no, Fanny Balls here decided to go along here. Turns out, there's no goddamn bridge, it's on the Forth. This is, Scotland has this part here, which is the Firth of the Forth. So that's where the River Forth meets the sea, which is your Firth. And then the Forth is this river that goes all the way along here. And eventually, that's it there. It kind of widens really quickly. It's really not that wide for most of its journey. And I had to go all the way along and get the bridge there. I think it is. It's big long straight roads. I think, is that? Where's the big long straight road? Might be that one. It's the big long straight road. It probably is that one. Then I have to come all the way down and into here, just to come back to start there again. And I should have just kind of went. But mistakes, you know. It's cool. It's good exercise. Came along, picked up the turf zone, which is here. I've actually picked this one up twice. Last one was September 29. That's when I done that ride from Midlicks, and then that one was 5 days ago. And scooted along. There's a little burger van here, which sadly was shut at like 3 o'clock when I came along. Well, that's a cup of tea would have been bloody nice. Came along and into this place here. This is called what is it there? Garshelach Forest, Gilmore Lynn and Charlie's Cave. The reason I wanted to go there was for this Gilmore Lynn and Charlie's Cave. It looked really nice, and it was a hot day, and I could probably go in here and be named around, might even do a little bit of nudie waterfall things, but no, maybe not. At least I would have swam in at my boxers or something like that if other people were around. It's quite nice, so I thought I'd go and have a look at it. And I never really go to these places. I really always like out cycling, but I never really go to these kind of places and admire them, so I'm always more wanting to go and have a look. So I thought I'd nip along and I'll get that. But while I'm here, I might as well get the turf stones, which is of course starting here and going up, and it kind of zigzags up a little bit and comes along, picks this one up, picks that one up, and then picks that one up. And the Gilmore Cave waterfall is around here. The river for it is actually this little river here. It's kind of like a couple of tributaries, and it's called Torchburn, I think. And it comes down and goes along and then ends up in the waterfall, which is here. Now, this is where the video is going to start for you guys. I went up and I took these roads all the way up. So I had a little look inside of here. There's nothing really along here. And as you can see, there's not really much in the way of paths along here either. Before this was a forest, I suspect this was probably segregated farmland, which would have had dry stone dikes. You know, they've probably been around since the 1600s or something like that. When people were men, and they made these dry stone dikes in the middle of fucking hills, in the middle of nowhere. And it must have taken them goddamn ages. It must have been super hard work. I reckon if anybody done stuff like that is superhuman when you look at it that way. And you can see, like along here, where it's been a dry stone dike and stuff like that as well, and there's been segregation down here. Probably along there, and that's why the trees have kind of got a little bit of line where when they've been planting them, they've not been able to get to that because of the dry stone dike's been in the way. So this is all being segregated at some point. Now I came up the roads all the way up here, and I came along and I passed a couple of times. Now they initially weren't there. and I was taking a video for my partner and stuff like that. And I turned around to take the video, and whoa, there's a couple there, came out of nowhere. And they passed me, I passed them, they passed me, I passed them. I was stopping to take pictures and stuff like that. I wasn't in any particular rush. And I came along and I passed them the last time, I think just about here, because it was just after that little kind of like car park area. It's not a car park, it's been where they've been parking the equipment for cutting down trees. A lot of these trees are not there anymore. This whole section is just gone. They have been replanted though, but it's pretty much gone, that lower section. This upper section is still semi here. You can tell that this has been done previously and it's regrown again versus these ones up here. So get past them, shot down that's a downhill, and then shot over the bridge. Now that was keeping an eye out on the left side, just in case there was a path that turned off. I did, when I came down here, I came down that fast, I wasn't sure if this was a path because it was kind of covered in trees. So I thought maybe I missed something, but you know, the bridge is there for a reason. So it looks like you're meant to go over the bridge, which I did. And then I went up and over this path here, which was all hardcore. People had been putting down boulders to bolster up the path and stuff like that. So it looks as if it's been a proper path. It goes somewhere. You know, because if people have been maintaining it, then it has to go somewhere. Not necessarily. So I shot up all the way up here. A little bit heavy duty for the brother. The bike I'm on is a brother Mete. I don't know why it's called a Mete. I have messaged brother in the past and they don't get back to you, so fuck them. I don't know why it's called Mete. I got the bike for nothing. It was in a skip. It's a beautiful bike, frame and fork. It was £1,400. I only got the frame. The rest of it I built myself. But it's still a really good frame. It runs 750 or 29 by 2 and imperial sizes, and it's a nice bike. 29 by 2 is a little bit big for the frame. It's a little bit on the bumpy side when you're off road as well. You've got to pump the tyres up quite hard. I'm running Continental Race Kings, and when you let them down, they have a tendency to burp. It's not a very strong tyre. I'm going to have to change that at some point. So I'm running them up at about 45 psi. So when you hit like a lot of this gravelly stuff, in fact the gravel's not so bad. It's more the more rockier stuff. It's quite harsh on the bike. But anyway, so this whole path up here is fairly rocky. I had to push most of it, and it goes along, and you can see it. Look, you can see it on the map. It looks like a path. Oh, there's another path. I didn't see it. Well, I seen that one. I didn't know where it went. Oh, there you go. There's another path on that way as well. Still don't think it goes to this fucking Charlie Lynn thing here, Bob. Yeah, that looks pretty rough. It looks like you still wouldn't get across that. But I'd seen that one. I thought that's not going to go where I want it to go. So I came all the way down, all the way along here. This was actually quite nice because this was downhill. And you could ride down it, which was really good. And I came around the corner and I seen this. This is a little break in the wall down here. And I thought, I wonder where that goes. And then I looked at it and it looks like it only goes to the river. Now you've got to remember, I've never been here before, so I can't see what's down there. When I'm here, this level goes down, but then it's all covered in trees. Well, it looks like covered in trees, but on the map it's tiny. But to me, when I'm standing there, it looks like it's covered in trees, and I couldn't see any path on this side. So I didn't know if it had jumped the burn, because it wouldn't have been that big at that point. There'd been a width to the bike at the very most, so you would have jumped it if you wanted to, and then you probably might have came down through here and to the waterfall. But I wasn't sure. And then you look at the path, and the path follows down. And it goes all the way down here, and then, god damn it, it just fucking ends. Doesn't go anywhere after that. So when you come down here, this gets super mushy. I mean, 26 degrees, it's not rained for days. And everything is bone dry apart from this one particular section, which is along this whole ridge line all the way along here, and it is mushy. It must be granite underneath with maybe about 2 foot worth of soil on top, and the water can't get through the granite, so it's sitting in the soil, and I'm standing in it. It's like sucking my shoes off. That sounds wrong. And it's miserable. I was not enjoying it at all, and I pushed the bike. And I dragged myself all the way down to about here, and then as I get along, there's trees over the rest of the path of patches. There's no longer a patch anymore. Even when you look past the dead trees, it looks like it's not been a path for a long time. And looking at it on the map here now, it doesn't look like it's been a path for a long time either. It just ends. I don't know why though, because I mean this is all maintained. All the way along there looks like a path, and you can see where people have went up and round the mush. And I should not particularly easy on the bike because a lot is gorse, and I've got to try and drag the bike through gorse as easy to go through the mud. Oh, I was covered. I thought I was going to have tick heaven as well. But like I didn't get any. Not I'm aware of. I've not seen any ticks growing on me yet. But it's just such a shame. And I got to here and I had to turn back. I couldn't make it to the cave and the waterfall, which is kind of nippy. I did come back along. I did look at this. I did think about it, but I mean it's 26 degrees, and I was really kind of struggling. So I ended up turning back, and it's about here where I turned the GoPro on. Now I should have probably GoPro'd the ride up, but I was really hot and miserable. Not miserable. You know, you just want to get to where you're going because you're so freaking hot. So at this point, I had kind of cooled down. My feet were soaking wet and stuff like that. And I thought, right, I'll grab the camera out and I'll film coming back down this. And we'll go back up this and then coming back down this section to the bridge, because it was a really nice section. If I had my fat bike, I would have loved it, or if I had my Wrangler, I would have loved it. The Meti, didn't really love it. It was cool, but I had to keep stopping. The Meti has one of the big problems with the Meti, although it's an XL frame, it has a short reach and probably like a 70-degree head, so it's not the most stable bike on the planet. If I was brother, I would have probably made it about a centimetre longer and turned it into a 69-degree head, and life would be better. I don't understand why it's got such road geometry, but they do other frames. I did get it for nothing, so I may later on look at selling the frame and getting a more off-roady style frame. Now, if you're a gravel enthusiast of actual gravel, not fucking big boulders, then you'll probably love the Meti. It's super fast, super agile. It's okay at speed. I wouldn't say it's the most stable bike on the planet, but I mean it's pretty good at speed. It needs good brakes, which on it are 4-pots that are on it just now, but they're only running 160 rotors, so the rotors heat up quite a bit. So I'll, at some point when I get my money together, get a hold of a 2 or 3 in the front and probably 180 on the rear. I'm a big guy, 120 kilos, so 118 kilos. So there's a lot of stopping me, plus the bike's all steel, so it's quite a heavy bike. So anyway, right, I am going to shut up now and put the video on for you. I will probably talk later on about meeting a couple as well. Calling down my name. Why don't you hear me wonder?
Tell me, river, where your current flows. Why don't you
So this section, see, cycle. This is just kind of semi-maintained. You can see like the trees and that over, but the trees have been cut. So someone's come along and cut the trees out of the way, placed a lot of boulders and rocks and things like that to make the path usable. That's quite a steep little fucker. It isn't that, brother, anyway. It wouldn't bother me on any other bike. But it's a nice little path. On a slightly mountain bikey bike, it would actually be really good. It's quite steep coming back up here. And it turns over and starts to go downhill again, probably around about here. Shut up, I'll let you watch it.
fare you well, darling, ain't coming back no more. Why don't you hear me wondering? Who've been whispering since I've been gone so long? Freedom calls.
Now here's that bridge. So when I was coming the other way, I came down the hill and I just shot over the bridge. So to me, it would look on my left hand side like there was a path going the other way, and this one it's on the right hand side. But it isn't. This is another one of those things where they must have parked the forestry tree cutting equipment, or somewhere for turning for equipment, or four-wheel drives when they go up it. That kind of fire track kind of area. So there really wasn't a path that way. There wasn't a path to the right. You probably would have seen it if you were watching the video. I didn't mark it out, sorry, I should have said it, but I forgot. There would have been a path on the right hand side on the way down that you might have seen. But I didn't go that way, so I didn't know what was there. But anyway, I come down here, go over the bridge, look to the right, nothing there, come back over the bridge, take a few pictures which I've put on the video. I actually take a lot more pictures than that, but I haven't put any up. And then I continue over back down again.
Your freight train, little lost man ride. Why don't you hear me wonder? Fare you well, darling, ain't coming back no more. I've been gone so long. Freedom call. Calling down my name. Why don't you hear me
So as I come up here and move to the right, this is where I came down, and I passed a couple the last time and I shot down over the bridge, and I hadn't had a little look in here. And I thought, when I passed it, I thought it's got to be all these things with parked vehicles or use it for turning and stuff like that. And as I come up here thinking, this looks like it's not going to be a path anywhere, and I was pretty much right. I don't know much about forestry stuff. Don't know what they're doing down this bit. Maybe they were trying to cut a new road in for some reason. I have no idea. Maybe this was an old road previously and they're just opening it back up again. But it doesn't really go anywhere that I'm aware of. I went down there, you can see there's been a caterpillar or something went up the hill there. Probably try to get into those trees and probably back this summer or this autumn whenever it's cutting trees down to go and cut the others down. I don't know, no idea. But there was nothing really there either. So I turn back and go down the path. So I've got to say that sometimes I speak really fast and with a Scottish accent. You may not understand everything I'm saying, especially if this is not somebody from Scotland watching it. Someone from America or somewhere else around the world. I apologise. If you've got any questions about what I'm saying, just ask me.
Oh, stop your freight train. Let a lost man ride. Why don't you hear me wonder? Fare you well, darling, ain't coming back no more. Why don't you hear me wonder? You've been whispering since I've been gone so long. Freedom call. Tell me, river, where your current flows. Why don't you hear me want? Oh, stop your freight train. Little lost man ride. Why don't you hear me want? Fare you well, darling. Ain't coming back no more. Why don't you hear me want? Been whispering since I've been gone so long.
And I am stopping, not really stopping, just for a couple of seconds to allow the brakes to cool. Because the whole time I'm just touching the brakes just to not go too fast. The back wheel in this thing's pretty close to frame. I didn't really want to buckle it. That's why the new tyres at some point I need to shift from 50 down to 47 or something like that, maybe 46. Because the 50s are just a bit too big for this frame. But this is where I meet the couple. So you can see in the video now there's a couple of people walking, and I had a bit of blather with these two, and turns out they had been up previously and they had done the same thing I did. They came up through this forest and went over the bridge, and they had went over that wall, that had a little gap in it, and it went over the stream, and they jumped over the stream and into the field, and said you couldn't really get to the waterfall from the field. I reckon you can, because it meets up with the normal path anyway. I think they did it during the winter, so it was a lot slimier and stuff like that. But they said to me that when you come out of Cumbus something, what the fuck it's called, there's so many weird names, and you come out of, what's it called? Cumbus Barron. There you go. You go out of Cumbus Barron, you go towards the Heartland Travel Tours of Scotland building, and you end up going up through this little section here, and it brings you back up to the waterfall. So next time I'm going to go that way. I want to make it one day. There's also a couple of nice paths up over the back of Carron Valley that it comes from, so I might go and do a camp or something like that along that way. Right, where are we now that I've skipped away from the video? I'm just coming out the end. Now I'm going to probably shut up here, because there's not really much else to talk about. I get to the end of the forest, I go on the roads, a couple times I stop just to check the map and stuff like that, and what time trains are. I would like to got the bus back, but the bus was full for some reason. The last one was like, I was about 10 to 10, it would have got me into town at like midnight, and I didn't really want to cycle back that late. So I decided to get the train back for Stirling. I was actually going to get the train back for Falkirk, but I spoke to one of my mates who was at the beach in Longnidry, Gillen area. He says, "Oh, come along if you want." So by the time I would have cycled to Falkirk, I would have missed that. So I was getting the train from Stirling to Edinburgh, and then, funnily enough, when I got off the train at Edinburgh, I got off, showed the ticket to the conductor guys, or the conductor guys that are next to when you get off the train, just to make sure everybody's paid the ticket. And then I turned around and I looked at the train leaving times from Edinburgh to North Berwick, which is the train you'll get to Longnidry. It was the exact same train that I was on. It just changes. It comes from Stirling and it changes to being the Edinburgh to North Berwick train. I should have just sat in the bloody train. I ended up getting off at Preston Pans and then cycling along the Longnidry section and meeting my mate up at Longnidry Bents. So that's why I was leaving a little earlier than I normally would. Normally I would stay later and had a wee look around and probably done some filming around Stirling, like Stirling Castle and stuff like that. I'll tell you what, I probably will actually chat later on towards the end of the video, because Sat-Nav's a cunt. He made me go the wrong way, which was not comfortable, but I'll talk later on in the video about that.
Shining just like sun. Why don't you hear me wonder? Tell me, river, where you're coming from. Why don't you hear me wonder? Oh, stop your freight train in a lost man ride. Why don't you hear me wonder? Farewell, darling, ain't coming back no more. Why don't you hear me wonder? You've been whispering since I've been gone so long. Freedom calling. Rolling thunder, calling down my name. Why don't you hear me want? Oh, midnight highway, shining just like sun. Why don't you hear me wonder? Tell me, river, where you're coming from. Why don't you hear me wonder? Oh, stop your freight train. Let a lost man ride. Why don't you hear me farewell, darling, coming back home. Since I've been gone so long, freedom calling. Rolling thunder, calling down my name. Why don't you hear me
Turn left.
Oh, midnight highway, shining just like sun. Why don't you hear me wonder? lost man ride.
Yeah.
Why don't you hear me wonder? Fare you well, darling, ain't coming back no more. Why don't you hear me wonder? You've been whispering since I've been gone so long. Freedom calling.
Turn left onto Douglas Terrace, then turn right. Turn right, then turn right.
No.
Turn right. Taking zone. In 600 meters, turn right towards Kings Park Road, B8051.
Calling down my name. Why don't you hear me wonder? Oh, midnight highway, shining just like sun. Why don't you hear me wonder? Tell me, river, where you're coming from.
Oh.
Why don't you hear me wonder?
Taking zone.
Oh, stop your freight train,
Zone taken.
let a lost man ride. Why don't you hear me wonder?
Turn right towards Kings Park Road, B8051, then turn left onto Kings Park Road.
Fare you well, darling, ain't coming back no more.
Turn left onto Kings Park Road, B8051. In 150 meters, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Drummond Place.
Been whispering since I've been gone so long. Freedom calling.
Exit the roundabout onto Drummond Place, then turn left onto Park Terrace. In 200 meters, turn right to stay on Park Avenue. Right to stay on Park Avenue, then continue onto Kings Park Road. Continue onto Kings Park Road, then turn right onto A811. Turn right onto A811, then turn left onto Wellgreen Road.
Indicate.
Turn left onto Wellgreen Road, A811.
Shining just like sun. Why don't you hear me tell me, river, where your current flows. Why don't you hear me wander?
Come on.
Oh, stop your freight train. Let a lost man ride. Why don't you hear me wander?
In 100 meters, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Wellgreen Road, A811.
What the fuck is stop?
Farewell, darling. Ain't coming back no
Exit the roundabout onto Wellgreen Road, then turn right onto Upper Craigs. Turn right onto Upper Craigs, A811. In 50 meters, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Boroughmuir Road, A9.
Right. If you hear sat nav, she's saying turn right, so that's why I moved over to the right lane. Turns out the left lane was also straightforward. Then she's like second exit on the left. So second exit on the left would have been, it should have been in the left hand lane, not the right hand lane. So I had to pull off because I couldn't move over to the left because there was cars on the left hand side. And so essentially what I done was I pulled off from there, then came back on the roundabout so I wasn't pissing anybody off. You know, apparently people say cyclists don't think about these things, but they do. I don't want to get run over, so this is the first exit. Second exit will come up to now. So I come off here thinking, right, no problem. You look at train stations here, it does say go up, but there must be some turn off or something like that I'll take off for pedestrians. Now I've got sat nav set as a bike, not a car. So I come down here and I'm actually looking left. I'm thinking, I wonder if I should just cut through the bus station, just chuck the bike over the little barrier and cut through the bus station, because I'm sure the bus station's right next to the train station. Because I've been here a couple of times now, and turns out it's not. Well, it is, but that's what I should have done. But I didn't. I listened to sat nav, and this is where it starts here. I thought I could have jumped that fence right there. There's a little gap just at the end, at the wall. Could have made that over, no problem. It'd have been fine. But not, better not. Better follow it. I'm thinking, I'm not doing this. this tunnely bit. I've been down here before in a car, and I'm sure there's no way off here, and it's like a dual carriageway, and the problem is technically it's an A road, and technically I'm allowed on it. Technically you're allowed to walk it, but you know, nobody ever does it because it's a dangerous bit of road. People think it's like a bypass and stuff like that, and they go down at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. It is a 50, I think. I'm sure as a guy passes me, I fucking shit myself. Fuck, I didn't like being down here. If I was on a road bike and I love the speed, there's the sign, what's it say? 50. So it is a 50 mile an hour, and there's a man or something passes me here, and he's pretty quick, and it feels like he's like right next to me when he passes me. Well, he's not, it's just in my head, of course. So I end up, like that red car, it came past pretty quick. Maybe it was a red car, I don't remember. But I remember coming up here, looking left, thinking, well, is there somewhere I can go? Because I just passed the train station. And I don't want to go this way. And why am I looking in my head? I'm like, why am I going this way? So I come up, and I'm looking left, see if there's a cut, maybe somebody's been getting pedestrians cut through the fence or something like that, I can squeeze through. But no, nothing there. It's all fence and no bushes. So even if I wanted to just squeeze through the bush, yeah, fucking, he was close. I gave him the finger. He was way too fucking close. I'm looking at the left to see if I squeeze through, but it's all fence and the bushes, so I can't squeeze through. Then I'm like, I see the Tesco's, and I passed this Tesco's with my mate. Was it last year we did Falkirk over to I passed Alloa, Stirling, back round to Falkirk again. We did that last year. I remember we stopped at this Tesco's, so I thought I might be able to squeeze through the bush at Tesco's, but I'm kind of watching this. I'm stringing out the text, the voice over here, watching this at the same time as you guys are watching it, at the same speed we're watching it. And there's a left turn coming up. I think I remember seeing it. Thinking, oh, fucking bank, fuck, I can get off. Because that's me on the... It's not making you turn, it's fucking go that way. Is that the A9 at that point? I don't know. I didn't drive, so I can't remember. Or maybe it's the road to the A9. And then come off with the Tesco's in the car, I know where I am now. But sat nav should never take me down there. It's not the right spot. I don't know why it didn't take me first left on the roundabout rather than second left on the roundabout. And first left would have brought me along to the back of the bus station, or front of the bus station, and then round on the train station. And it's actually shorter. So I don't know why sat nav did that. This bugger in the mini wasn't waiting on me. So I just cut through Tesco's and back along, as you'll see here in the video.
Turn right onto Wallace Court, then make a U-turn. Make a U-turn, then turn left onto Wallace Street. In 100 meters, turn right onto Goosecroft Road, B8052. Turn right.
I admit, I might have squeezed a little close to those fuckers who just weren't putting any effort into walking across. Sometimes it's, the highway code tells you to walk straight across, and with purpose, just get some speed up. I did cut through these reds, but it's a cycle lane. There's nobody there, so I don't see the point in the reds and for the cycle lanes. So for the car, and I suspect that's a legacy thing where the lights are still there, and they need to move over to the right, because there's absolutely no reason to stop the cycle lane unless somebody was walking across it and there was nobody walking across it. It should be a zebra crossing for the cycle lane. Same thing, it's about appearance of zebra crossing. I kind of shoot across as well. As I come up to these lights, do I go through them? Yep, pretty much. Nothing there, not a soul, it's a cycle lane. There's no point in stopping the cycle, the bike whatsoever. So I'll go through it. Yes, you're probably going to want it. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're going to have to like it or love it. Or is it love it or leave it? Or I don't know what the saying is. And that's me now at the train station. So thank you for watching. If you like the content, you can always like, subscribe. If you don't like it, you can always dislike the content. There's a few people who do that too. I think I've got a few haters now. It is what it is, who cares? But if you like the content, I would like to do more. When you like it, it makes me encouraged to do more. And sometimes I feel like I'm just putting things out in the ether and nobody's really paying any attention. So yeah, if you subscribe, it makes a huge difference as well. It gives you purpose. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, stuff like that. So really would appreciate it, but I'm not begging. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever you want to do. But I enjoy making some of the content. I just enjoy the editing. Sometimes it takes so bloody long. This video, it's got to be about 3 hours, 4 hours worth of editing so far. But it's good. What do you think of the Stirling station? Lovely station. Old, but it still has all the nice glass roof and everything like that. It's not as nice as Edinburgh station, but it's quite unique. Edinburgh station. It's lovely. But this is still really quite nice. It's a kind of weird station. I think it's 9 platforms. Some of the trains run through it. The Glasgow-Edinburgh train doesn't, but the other trains that run up to Alloa, Dunblane, I think the Edinburgh to Fort William misses at Glasgow and goes through Stirling. I can't quite remember, but there's quite a few of them, so there's a few different trains. Lambert and all that, of course, is going to be here as well. So anyway, right, I'm going to leave you to it. Thanks for watching, okay? Bye-bye.